because you're going to save more money because he's going to design it better and pick the right. So you try to go in these umbrellas. So if it were an Intel part, you'd probably go with, I don't know if you do Intel, you know.
Not anymore.
They're too expensive now. So.
Since I grew a beard.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a different industry application where I want to inductively track current and then in an anomalous event transmit a signal.
Right.
That an out of tolerance condition.
Yeah. So you get a surge or something and it sends out.
Yeah. So the Zigbee, Zigbee is one of the commonly used tools to do this. And they
Bluetooth,
use
same as
network,
Zigbee.
right?
Same as Zigbee.
Well, I'm trying to envision a lower cost solution. And one of the ideas that I've been kicking around is an active RFID, but then you have the same networking distance issues where you have to repeat.
And wouldn't you like to talk to a phone?
Well, the problem is that these are remote places. So I guess my question to you is this, is how far can you transmit once you have the notification in place to do that? Once you have the out of tolerance condition, how far can you transmit?
The question to you is how far do you need to transmit? We'll work backwards. I mean, if it's 10 miles, that's one thing. If
No,
it's 6
it's
feet,
probably
that's
a
another.
mile.
Okay.
It's probably a mile, or you get to some location in the field where they collect that.
How often?
Right? But you don't want a lot of those repeaters because that embeds
Sure.
that cost
How
throughout the network, right?
How often might this have to go
Oh,
ping out?
it's total, it's a failure condition. That's
Oh
it.
my goodness! You could send out a burst. You could store up and just go.
And the solution you're using now?
Well, like I said, the solutions now, I think, are rooted in Zigbee solutions, where they have electronic circuitry resident in each of these locations, and then something happens,
Yeah.
and they fire, the Zigbee does the notification. But something very simple that just says, out of tolerance, send out a technician.
Yeah.
You know, one person, the guys that do those trackers, Wizard, whatever.
The fish
that
trackers?
do the really long range tracking.
Oh, the animal
for
trackers, right,
animals
right, yeah.
and stuff.
Access, those guys?
Who is it?
It
You
was
guys know?
somebody else.
Biomark, who does the fish stuff. Tenexus was doing the animal telemetry.
No, this is
Somebody else.
in the valley. But anyway, they were doing some really long distance, what to me was really long distance stuff.
Well, let me ask this: Could you put some RF solution on these individual ones and have a main unit that cost more that pinged out everything like to the web?
Sure.
Right. So I think what's the radio chip now for a phone? What do you think those are? Like $25? You know, the actual radio in the cell phone.
I don't know if you need to go that
Yeah,
route, though.
that's
I think you could go with just a standard RF module because they've got some pretty good distances on them.
Yeah, especially if you get to the lower frequencies, because the 2.4 is it's a bad frequency because water absorbs at that, and there's water all over the place. So if you could get to one of the lower frequency things,
In terms of a transmitter.
in
Yeah.
terms of
Yeah, but also
Okay,
your
so
transmitters can hop on each other, right?
It's a highly destructive environment. I mean, it needs
Yeah.
to be. This thing needs to be sealed. That's
Yeah.
why RFID is so cool.
Yeah.
Because you can seal the whole thing, and it potentially could last a very long time.
Right, but you're trying to put a module, a little solar panel and have it self-contained, or just a battery that lasts a long time. And then when the event happens, you want to ping that thing out a mile, have something pick it up and respond to you.
Yeah, and it's just it's a maintenance.
Are you having each of your emitters talk to the other emitters so they can daisy chain along?
They don't have to, but I mean that's
a pretty straightforward.
well, that's the limitations of the technology today, right? Zigbee has to run on some kind of resident line, or the RFID, the active RFID, would have to have repeaters and be on that network and communicate by way of the network all the way to where it has to go to.
Me, I'd use like a Lynx, one of those Link modules. You can get a mile out of one.
Why don't you send the data down the wire itself?
There is no wire.
Again, it's just a cost.
No, I'm saying,
So
you know.
what I'm trying to envision is the better way through the woods here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Here's what I would handle. Lynx, if you're not so worried about your unit cost, which it doesn't sound like you are, Lynx has a transmission module. It uses really simple. Basically, they just hit a frequency and the receiver picks up that frequency, and then you can encode that so you know who's coming on. You can get a mile out of this whole thing. It's an LINX. They have a whole series of these type
It's
of
a manufacturer,
RF
right?
modules.
Yeah.
Well, is this the device? This is the device that transmits the anomalous event, or is
Yeah.
this the repeater? Oh.
No, it's they come in transmitter receiver pairs, so you'd have a receiver at your main, and then all these transmitters out monitoring. When the event happens, it says, okay, it's my time, and it sends out this thing, and then the receiver will pick that up, and then you can do whatever you
So
want.
what does the inductive, monitoring, the current monitoring?
Oh, well,
You have
that's
something,
that's
you
a
know-
sub-problem. That's actually the easier problem of your nut.
Oh.
So, yeah,
I suspect you could get one of those Hall effect type current measurements.
yeah. And then just put it in the
Chips,
processor.
Solid state, pretty well behaved.
Right, and you set the upper and
You can
lower
see it.
limits.
Okay, all right.
One more question up here, and then we're gonna break, and these guys will stick around for more.
You're over the meter, okay?
Did you have a question? No question. Any more? One more? Anybody?
I had a quick question, maybe I missed it, but on the Bluetooth, the smart, there's concurrence in the industry, right, for that. Is that actually live right now, or is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's, those devices that I talked about are all actually working, and there are parts like polar heart monitors and stuff that are already out.
In use
It's
now.
just coming out though, which is a great opportunity for people who
If
are
you're 6
developing
months out,
something now.
by the time you're out, then it'll be.
But yes, it
Go
is
ahead,
live
Steve.
now.
I was gonna wrap up. Thanks, everyone, for your time today. Again, 4th floor, 413, if you wanna come up to the new product development lab. These guys are gonna be around for a
We're
while.
gonna hang
You
up
can
there. We're gonna walk up there.
ask questions individually. We're planning some ongoing events in this same vein in the area of product, process, market, innovation, so that we can capture, again, the methodology of these guys who have been so successful. So we'll send out some information to get some feedback on what types of events people want to have. Again, thanks for coming out. It was really great to have such a good turnout.
And I have a stack of cards up here if anybody wants one.
Yeah. You got to talk to probably Derek or John. Derek is